what's up?
What's going on?
I appreciate you being up this morning. I'm not a morning person either.
Man, it's all good. I just got home from Chicago last night late at like 3 in the morning, and
Jeez.
that's just it's just name of the game. It's all good.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. But once again, Josen, I appreciate you being on today, and
Yeah.
you have quite the story.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do.
Now, when I went through your website, I watched like numerous videos about you. And the main thing that kind of blew my mind was the fact that you went to rehab and then you were allowed to bring your recording equipment with you. Like how did that get cleared? Because I mean, usually in rehab that's it's about rehabbing, it's about focusing on you.
Y- it was, and I was fortunate. I went to a lot of different places in the LA area, and that was just my thing. I was stubborn, and I was in the middle of doing a project when this whole thing hit the fan. It was either rehab or homeless, and so I was like, look, I'll go, but I'm bringing my studio, And so I went to a few places, and the one that I ended up at, I met with the owner, and I don't know, we just kind of connected. You know what I mean? Like he was the first guy that I just liked him. And I said, look, I like you, man, but can I bring my studio? And he just was like, yeah, that's fine, just no speakers. And so I was like, deal, deal. And so, yeah, I was able to bring, I brought the mic, the M box, computer, a keyboard, and an acoustic guitar, and there you have it. Did live from rehab, and some of the songs that I saved are going on this new project. But yeah, that's kind of how it worked out.
That's crazy to me because like I know for me, if I ever ended up in rehab, I'm sure they would not I would not be able to get that special treatment. So that's definitely a blessing, for you and the CD, of course. I mean, the tracks that I've heard so far are fantastic.
Thank you.
And, I think I commend you because, I feel like it takes a real man, to admit that, to
Admit a
admit,
problem.
yeah, just to say, yes, I have an alcohol problem.
It wasn't easy. I'd spent most of my career before there was Jonezen. I was a member of a band called Out of Control, and I mean we really earned that name, Out of Control. It was a nickname that my crew had gotten in high school just from being the party guys, and that was just me. It was my identity was wrapped up in that persona, that like crazy guy, always drunk, always loaded. And I got paid to do those things. I got to go and tour for a lot of years, and so when it was time to get sober, man, I mean, I just thought like life is over. Like who am I without this? That was I was just that guy, and it was a trip, but if I found a way through it, and I just never ever considered giving up doing music, and in rehab is when Jonezen was born, and I mean, the name of the new album is Beautiful Disaster, and I can't really think of a better title than that because the whole thing has been exactly that. It's been a beautiful disaster.
Now, coming from that, and let's transition. I want to know a little bit more about how it was like, growing up for you, because you came from a background that I would say would not conclude to how, you ended up, per se.
I mean, I had childhood. I had good parents. I grew up in It's funny. I just yesterday took a picture of the balcony in my apartment building. I hadn't been home to Chicago in almost 2 decades, and I went and took a picture of the balcony that I grew up in. So I lived, in an apartment for like 12 or 13 years, and then moved to Detroit, which is really where I grew up. Is Detroit, and But it was good. Loving parents, man. It's just like my life was hard. We didn't have a ton of money or anything like that, but I mean, I made my life hard. Period. Period. And I was always arrested and in trouble since I was like 12. I think I started getting arrested when I was 12, and spent every year of my teens on probation. And I don't know. I don't know quite how to explain it, man. I was just, and I don't want to say a bad kid, but I was always in trouble, and up to something. And then, just kind of years pass, time goes by, people change, and you just kind of grow up. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I know, and for me, I completely understand. For me, I just feel that like for young people, especially, and especially, I feel for young white men who want to do hip hop. I mean, when people think of Detroit, they think of Eminem, you know,
Who's
and
that?
I wonder that too sometimes because he's all over the place. But that's a question I always wanted to ask you is like, how do you feel when people like compare you to Eminem or compare you to like another white rapper because that often happens. I mean, for black artists, it's like, oh, that's just another rapper. So
Right.
how do you kind of deal with that kind of issue?
Well, you get so used to it, that it's nothing. It's just kind of like rolls off the shoulder. I think I think the big thing is letting people hear the music, because you tell anybody you're a rapper and they're like, yeah, yeah, whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, sure. You're a rapper, And then what do you do? Like bust out the resume, like, look, I've toured with this guy, this guy, this guy, been in this movie, that movie, da 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 da. Like, no, you're just like, why don't you just listen, and then they, more times than not when they hear the music, they're like, oh, you're like a real rapper. Oh. It's like, yeah, and when people say the Eminem thing, that's something they say before they hear you. They just go to that place, like, oh, Eminem, Eminem, and it's just whatever, it's just whatever, man, and then they hear the music and they're like, wow, okay, okay, well, that's what's up.
See, because like for me, I feel the same way. It's like with me in reporting, I get the same thing. They just like kind of look at me and say, "Oh, you're just trying to be, like that person." So that's good that you're able to, to separate yourself. Because I mean, hip hop culture now, it's like everybody's starting to sound the same. Everybody's trying to do that, same image per se. So I appreciate that you kind of know who you are because there's a lot of people who don't know who they are and they call themselves a rapper.
Mm. Yeah, I certainly try and put me in the music, and do something that is unique and authentic to me. And if I'm not doing that, then what am I doing? Then it becomes some sort of gimmick, some sort of like hoax and act. You know what I mean? There's a line in the album when I say, I might be known for the performance, but ain't none of this an act. I'm as real as it gets. Believe me when I'm saying that. And then the hook comes in. Uh, so yeah, man, I'm just trying and do me and put me in that music and make it unique and authentic.
Now, one thing I like talking about too is style, because I tend to talk about style with women. That's like a complete complication there,
All
but
right,
but for men, it's a whole different ball game. So, how do you define your style?
man. My style is half. I mean, sometimes you'll catch me like this, just in a tank and basketball shorts. I mean, if I'm home, I'm just chilling. And then if I'm out, if I'm performing, I think you could say like Jay-Z. I'm usually in black, like just like kind of a clean, not clean cut, but like a black tee, black jeans, black hat. Um, nothing super flashy, nothing, no like cheetah print and stuff like. I mean, you got some stuff going on there,
Yeah,
but
I know, I
guys,
got my zebra
guys
bracket.
feel like they just they flash it up, and they got the suspenders and all this stuff in it. That's cool. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just, it's just I kind of take that like I don't know, yeah, black. I'm usually in black. So just like yeah, you know how Jay-Z's
Yeah,
you always see him, he's like in black on stage looking like mature, I guess you could say. But
right.
he's like 50, so he should be looking that way. But
Well,
yeah, I
for sure,
guess
you
that's
look
me.
better than JC. Okay.
Thank you.
because because when people talk about, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do respect Jay Z as an artist and as a legend. I mean, this guy is an empire,
Yeah.
but when it comes to looks wise, I'm like, when you said Jay Z, I'm like, I think you can do better than Jay Z there.
Well, I don't know. Shoot. I don't know. No one's coming to mind. I mean, I just think of Jay
Right.
Z because I always see him in black, and I'm
Yeah,
always
that's true
wearing
though.
wearing black.
Yeah, he always does that like monotone like classic black. But are there some particular artists that you would like to collaborate with? Because I can definitely see you collaborating with Kanye. You guys both are very philosophical, except
Mhm.
you're not as crazy as he is. But
Uh,
but I mean, you're not just saying things just to, but I mean, that's just me, to say things. But I think when it comes to philosophical things, that's definitely up your alley.
yeah, I would definitely list Kanye as someone that I'd like to work with. I wasn't huge on his last album, but I mean, he's done some stuff and has some verses that are just like when you hear him, you're like, ooh, yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
That like kind of cut through the skin and like you're just like, man, that was dope. So yeah, Kanye for sure. And I think the top on my list are not hip hop artists at all.
Hmm.
When I was in rehab on the Live from Rehab mixtape, I covered two songs. I covered the band Perry, If I Die Young, and remade that, and then I covered Eric Clapton, My
Hmm.
Father's Eyes. So if I could do new versions of those two songs with those artists and like release that, man, that takes the cake for me right now. And then in terms of rappers, we said Kanye, J. Cole. I like J. Cole a lot. And then I like Logic. I think Logic spits pretty hard. Um, and then Wale, I like Wale. I think he's done some cool stuff. And like Alicia Keys, I would love to do a song with Alicia Keys. And there's a quick list for you right there.
Yeah, like I appreciate that you want to like step outside, because like for me, I kind of play this fine line between the hip hop community and I deal with like a lot of alternative and like heavy metal artists. So I
Mm.
really want to see that in hip hop again, because I mean, everybody knows, of course, Run DMC and Aerosmith way back when. There's been a couple collaborations prior, past that. But I think that it's important to do that because hip hop has that same relation to rock music. It's kind of like we're talking, about the opposition sometimes and how things don't always work out perfect, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you kind of represent. You have that good balance. I mean, there's some people where I hate to say it, they're just either one or the other, and that's how they market themselves. But I feel with you, you have that versatility. But how did you end up with Concord and getting to know Charvet?
Let's see. That relationship, I didn't meet Charvet until a couple weeks ago, but
Hmm.
last Thanksgiving, his A&R, Shada, we got connected on LinkedIn, and he wrote me a message and he said, hey, send me some stuff. I want to check you out, whatever. And so I sent him. I think I forget a couple things, press kit, couple songs, just whatever you would send somebody. And he checked it out. He wrote me right back, and he's like, "Man, you got some dope songs on here." Like, and he pointed to one in particular, and he's like, "What are you trying to do with this?" And we went back and forth for a little bit, and then gradually as time went on, like our communication got less and less and less. And then I'm not into chasing these people down. You know, like a record deal has never been the goal for me. You know, it's just it's about doing the work, increasing the fan base, making music that connects to people, and then hopefully all of that in turn you make money and you're fortunate enough to make a living doing what you're doing. But like that record deal like isn't the goal. You know what I mean? Uh, and then so a couple weeks ago, Shada got back in touch with me. It was crazy. Right around this time, I was signed once to Famous Records, and they got back in touch with me. A couple new managers came out of the woodwork, some consultants, you know, people just started hitting me up. And Shada was one of them. He's like, send me something else, man. Send me something else. So I sent it to him, and then we actually got on the phone, and he said, hey, I've been pitching this. You know, are you able to make a move? And I said, well, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm independent, you know. And he's like, you good to take a phone call? And I was like, yeah, let's take a phone call. Let's do it. And then Charvet got on the phone, and we just kind of went from there. You know, started talking and went back and forth. And then, you know, I decided that this was a good move, and here I am.
Isn't that crazy? Like
It is
how
crazy.
social media, like something like LinkedIn, can,
LinkedIn. All right,
yeah,
rapper,
just
get on your LinkedIn game. I know y'all. I know you guys are on Facebook and Twitter and Reverb Nation and all that, but I swear I'm not kidding when I say this that I think LinkedIn has been a huge asset to me. Um, it's you know you present yourself in a different way on there, more professional, and there's a lot of people on there. You know, a lot of connections. You know, and you just reach out, say what's up to people. You know, I've met a few people besides Shada on there um, that I have relationships with now. It's been a good thing.
now you mentioned, of course, that you're independent. Like, what are some of the struggles of the independent artists? Because there's been this constant battle, for people coming into the industry. They want to have that major status, but they still want to be independent. So how do you find that fine balance of doing that?
Well, I think that you just kind of answered your own question in the last thing that you said. You said the word balance, and that's a big part of it. Balance and time management and knowledge. You know, it's for me. It's about knowing what you want to do. I mean, music takes up every second of every free second that I got. And if I'm doing something else, it's on my mind. So you got to have, I mean, a passion that you can't control, like to make sure that you're able to, because life gets tiring. You know what I mean? We all do our day to day, and a lot of you get exhausted just
Right.
dealing with what you got to deal with. So it's that passion that drives me to put in that extra work, to do those 13, 14, 15-hour days so I can get in my music grind. And then knowledge. I read a lot and make sure that I'm staying up to date with the how tos. There's lots of good DIY articles and blogs and books, marketing books, promotion books, ebooks that you can download for free. I mean, I got them all. And I read them and I take the time to make sure that I'm staying smart. Um, and then who you got to get out there and put yourself in places that other people in the business go. You know, uh, network, reach out, email people, say hello. Don't ask for nothing. You just say, hey, I'm so and so, and because you need to be genuine in just trying to build a relationship. I find that if you hit someone up and you just are on that, like, check me out, hey man, don't check me out, 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 check me out. Like, no one respects that. You know what I mean? And then you put all those things together in a budget. Know where where are you going to spend money to get heard. Because it's so much more than Facebook and just stuff. You gotta be able to invest in yourself, even if it's on a minimal level. Printing um, flyers and demos and merch and stickers so that you can be at least own your block, own your city with those things that you can get in the street and do. Um, So yeah, a little bit of, time management, balance, knowledge, who you know, and having a little cash to invest in yourself, I think are the keys for me, um, to that keep this going forward.
All right. And what are you coming up with? Like any events or anything for people to know about? And how can people get in touch with you? Because I know tons of my female fans will probably be getting in touch with you.
Uh, well, my phone number is no,
And
uh,
here's my astrological sign. And
I live at 3581. Nah, let's see what's in the works. Okay, so we got the Concord deal, and they will release my first single through them, I think, in July. We're waiting on the release date back from Universal. So that you look for that. I think they got a couple features that they're looking to have me do. So look for that. Then the album was supposed to drop June 23rd.
hmm,
This was before the deal. So, when you get in that situation, everything kind of just slows down. They say, okay, we can't just drop this album. You're with us now. We gotta, you haven't reached our base yet. You've been here doing your thing. We're gonna go here and do this thing.
mm,
Um, so in terms of release date for the album, I don't know. Um, my guess would be 2 or 3 months out, but the single will drop July. I've got videos on deck, just waiting to go for whenever they say we can drop some more videos. And then shows. I've been on the road a lot these past couple months. I've done a bunch around LA. I just did the House of Blues. I've got Bakersfield coming up July 11th. Um, and then the label, I was talking to Charvet last night. He said he had some stuff, some tour stuff going on. Everything, my plan kind of changed with the deal. You start playing a different kind of game. So right now I'm just kind of hanging tight. There's a couple shows, there's some new songs, there's some videos, and just, rolling with the punches and kind of trying to go with the flow and see what happens.
yeah, I know. I really, value, what you do and how, how authentic you are. Because I mean, I feel like we live in this society now where it's just about, let me just, put on a fake face. And I'm just very, very grateful that you came on today. And I'm definitely going to have you back. Like I told Charvet that. I'm going to have you back on when your album, comes out and everything like that. And I'm sure my my fans are going to be like, you better have him back on because he's really cool. Uh,
I hope they say that. I mean, we can only hope, right? They might
yeah.
might be like, man, I hate that guy. Who is this guy?
Who does he think he is? No,
Who does
no.
he
I
think he is?
think I think it's a complete opposite. But I appreciate you coming on today,
Hey, thank you.
and definitely I'm gonna have you back. I'm gonna definitely get Charvet to, send me some of your stuff so that I can play it because my radio program's gonna be coming out soon. So I'm gonna
Oh,
support
great,
you.
great. Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I don't think I plugged the social media. Everything I got is at Jonezen Music. So Facebook, Twitter, Reverb Nation, YouTube, at Jonezen Music. The official website's jonezenmusic.com. And on iTunes, you can just search Jonezen and I'll come up.
Definitely. Thank you, Josen, for being on today. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited to see how your career is gonna go so high that I'm gonna see you in a magazine. I'm like, look at this fool, like he blew up. He forgot about me, No,
Hey, no, 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 no. If you were there at the beginning, which you are, I'll always have a place for you, guaranteed. You mark my words. You got it live right now, so you mark my
oh, okay.
words.
I got okay. That's the contract. No,
It is. It is.
I appreciate it. Well, you take care of yourself.
Okay, we'll do. You do the
All
same.
right. All right.
All
Take
right.
care.